Hey everyone, I Tanya Garg welcome you all to another episode of our series 40 Days of Relationship. And in our today's episode, let me start with a beautiful story straight from Bible. One more for Jesus. My father was a minister for over 50 years, serving mostly in small, rural churches. He was a simple preacher, but he was a man with a mission. His favorite activity was taking teams of volunteers overseas to build church buildings for small congregations. In his lifetime, Dad built over 150 churches around the world. In 1999, my father died of cancer. In the final week of his life, disease kept him awake in a semi conscious state nearly 24 hours a day. As he dreamed, he would talk about what he was dreaming. Sitting by his bedside, I learned a lot about my dad just by listening to his dreams. He relieved one church building project after another. One night, near the end, while my wife, my niece, and I were by his side, Dad suddenly became very active and tried to get out of bed. Of course, he was too weak, and my wife insisted that he lay back down. But he persisted in trying to get out of bed, so my wife finally asked, Jimmy, what are you trying to do? He replied, got to save one more for Jesus. Got to save one more for Jesus. Got to save one more for Jesus. He began to repeat that phrase over and over again. During the next hour, he said the phrase probably 100 times. Got to save one more for Jesus. As I sat by his bed with tears flowing down my cheeks, I bowed my head to thank God for my dad's faith. At that moment, Dad reached out and placed his frail hand on my head and said, as if commissioning me, save one more for Jesus, save one more for Jesus. And I intend for that to be the theme of the rest of my life. What a beautiful story, isn't it? Saving one more for Jesus or save one more for God. That is the mission, that is the purpose of our life. And that is the theme of this episode 36. Save one more for God. Got to save one more for God. We are here to save at least one person in our lifetime for God. And we are not saving for just for him. We are saving actually ourselves by saving somebody else. When we save one person, we are becoming an inch closer to him, and 1 inch making our faith stronger. Because when we convince, when we inspire or motivate somebody in his worship, then our faith some or the other way becomes stronger. So saving one more for God is actually we are saving ourselves. So in saving someone else, we end up saving ourselves. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that something which truly matters and which truly makes sense? Right. Okay, moving ahead. Let me read again few lines. This episode is not too complicated. It's something which is simple, something which is very clear, full of clarity, but still a far-fetched thought in our mind because it is too simple to adopt. We sometimes, I feel the things which are more complicated, the things which are more difficult, to fathom, to get through in life, they actually more convince us, they actually more inspire us, which should not be the case. We think that more the complicacy, more our mind has to work, and that is going to prove some or the other way how intelligent we are. But the simpler, the more transparent, the more clear things in life, they actually have more worth and importance than the complicated task. He saves us and then sends us out to save others. So first of all, he saves us and then sends us out to save others. So we all are angels or messengers of the God, saved by him and actually sent by him on planet earth to save other people. Also, it has been mentioned in the book that since the beginning of the time, God has incarnated on earth in various forms, Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Buddha, many prophets, Jesus Christ, and Guru Nanak Dev, and various others, priests, saints, philosophers, Socrates. Shankaracharya, and many others who have come and gone, and they have preached the holy name of God. They have preached the importance of faith in our life, okay, but hardly they have been understood. They have always been, discredited. They have not been taken seriously by people then, people now. There is this line in the book which says that if we get to experience something eternal, something beautiful, something which has transformed us, then why not share with everyone else? So if I have understood the fruits of having faith in my life, if I have understood the beauty of having a sweet, a simple relationship with God, then why not share that faith, that relationship with one person more and save that person? So in our entire lifetime, if we can save one person and make him build his connection or relationship with God, then our purpose is fulfilled. We have saved one more for God, and we have saved us in the process. So it says something like this: sure, we cannot force anybody into doing anything these days, but at least we can give it a try, especially when we are well aware of the incredible results it is going to bring. And that was the whole reason, that I started this YouTube channel, thinking that in post pandemic times people were not having that much faith. When I used to talk to people 4 years back, like after 2020 or in the beginning of 2021, people were so demotivated, they were so disappointed with their own life, because many of us have lost their close relatives, or people who were very dear to us, that we actually lost faith in some or the other way. We were thinking that why we suffered like that. So in that in those times of uncertainty, in the times of doubt, in times of lot of depression and disappointment, reinstating or keeping our faith intact or strengthening it, it was a very important task to be done. And that was the whole intention behind starting this YouTube channel, that at least if I could motivate one more person to be having a beautiful relationship with God, like I build my connection with God again, I build my faith step by step again, hopefully I can help somebody else who is going through this phase of life to build his relationship with God. And that was the whole idea behind starting this channel. Okay, let me read a few more lines from this book. We must remember that no matter how contented or successful people appear to be, I'm going to lay stress on this word, appear to be. So no matter how successful the people appear to be, without God and His mercy, they are hopelessly lost and headed for eternal separation from God. Everybody needs help, and everybody needs God to save them from the illusion of this material world. So no matter superficially, seeing the outer covering, you may think that people seem to be very successful, happy, contented with the life they are living, but it's not the true case. Internally they are suffering, they are decaying, they are destroying themselves day by day. It is very important for us to look within, to look little deeper, and take them out from that discouragement, from that disappointment, depression of life, and tell them the importance of having faith, importance of reuniting with God, importance of reigniting that spark of faith inside them for God. Okay. So having said all this and explained the beauty of having an everlasting relationship with God, sometimes it also happens that people are in such a bad taste of life or in such a low phase of life that they are not ready to quickly, or they are not ready to eagerly fall on the same path which is going to lead them to a happy life. But we should never lose our hope. We should always keep working. We should always think positively, that no matter maybe not now, maybe not at this point people are ready to listen what we want to preach them, maybe sometime later, but we should not stop this. So this is most important, that don't stop working. God says that I don't want you to quit your job to become 24/7 preacher. No, I don't want that. In Gita, God lays equal stress on karma as well as on bhakti. So I want you to do my bhakti, I want you to chant my holy names, but I also want you to undertake the necessary work, undertake the necessary action, that is, do your karma. Don't give up your duties of this material world. Okay, so it's not that in order to bring more people closer to God we should just quit our everyday work. No, wherever we go, whether it is our workplace, whether it is our neighborhood, whether the place we actually live in, our relatives, our people living in our society, wherever we go, take this attitude that today I'll save one more for God, today I'll inspire one more person to have faith in life. So it's not that you got to leave everything in your life and be a 24/7 preacher. Just carry this attitude wherever you go, just carry this vibe, this faith inside you, and then see automatically that vibration will flow out from you to the people who come in your surrounding, in your aura. They'll automatically feel that positivity coming out of you, that there is something very special in this person, I need to grasp this. And when this aura, this vibration will flow out, then not just one, many people will be saved. Okay, with this we have come to the thought of the day. Let me read it for you. There are people on this planet whom only you will be able to reach because of where you live and what God has made you to be. If just one person will be in heaven because of you, your life will have made a difference for eternity. So to make that difference for eternity, right now at this moment, try to save one more for God. Make this a mission for rest of your life, that I have to save one more for God, got to save one more for God. So keep believing, keep having faith, try to be as much happy in life as possible.